DSP, we are curious. Over the weekend, we heard reports of a young Senegalese footballer who had died, and then a few days later, your outfit released a statement that you signed to say that you were looking into this matter. Can you just take us from the very beginning? What have you uncovered so far, and what is the story as the police know it?
Yes, thank you very much. As indicated in the release, on Saturday afternoon, the regional crime officer in the person of Assam Commissioner of Police, Mr. Boyo, received a call from the Foreign Ministry with the effect that a Senegalese national has been deposited at a private morgue, that is a laser morgue at the Tapo here in Kumasi. Immediately, the command received that message. The officer proceeded to the morgue, and lo and behold, he found the body. And the initial inquiries from the morgue indicated that some 3 men brought him dead from the Menchia government hospital, and that they were only speaking French. He said the gentleman was their brother, and the one who left his contact gave his name as Isaac with a telephone number, and told the mortuary attendant that he will be coming back for the body. So the police proceeded to Menchia government hospital, met with the authorities there, and they also indicated yes, on that fateful day, that was on Thursday 15th, this gentleman was brought in with some wounds in his lower abdomen and around his neck. So when they examined the body, realized the person was brought in there. So we advised that the police is sent to the morgue. So the police took statement from both departments, that is the hospital and the morgue. So we're now looking for these 3 men. And from the subsequent inquiries we made at the hospital, they indicated that the people, when they came, the 3 men that brought the body, they were only speaking in French, and they didn't understand the French. They called on an interpreter, who initially said they are alleging the person was involved in an accident. Later, they changed their statement to say that he initially was attempting suicide. About 3 days to the time, he was attempting suicide, and then later they found him in that state. So we didn't end there. We started picking our facts on the ground. So the name they left at the morgue and as well as the hospital was Mohammed Jallo. But the next day, after our investigation, the hospital management said on Friday they brought luggage, that is the backpack and a briefcase belonging to the deceased. So they left it and said somebody will come for the body and as well as the luggage. So when we got hold of the luggage, the search in it revealed 2 pair of goalkeeper gloves, a pair of football boots, and personal effects with some mobile phones and other power banks belonging to the deceased, as was alleged. So far, that is what we have. But we are on the ground, we are picking some intel, and I'm pretty sure very soon we'll get to know those behind it and the circumstances that led to the death of this young man.
Okay, so at least this is what you've discovered. So have you found anything that confirms fully that this young gentleman is an actual footballer? You did say that there were pairs of goalkeepers' gloves in his belongings, football boots, and all of that. Have you had anything to fully confirm that he is a footballer, or you are saying this just based on what you've seen?
From our preliminary investigation, they suggest that yes, he's a footballer. Very exhibit we have at hand at the moment. Having seen a football boot of gloves, goalkeeper gloves, it gives us some kind of clue that he's a footballer. Meanwhile, the command is in touch with the embassy, that is the Senegal embassy here in Ghana, and they are actually in contact as we speak. Yesterday, they've been in town. According to the investigators, they are engaging them. So I'm pretty sure with this collaboration, we should make some headway.
Okay, so have you had any information on the gentleman who brought him to the hospital? Because per your narration, somebody brought him to the hospital, or some people, and they were speaking French, and there was some confusion there.
Yes, as I said, one person who left his name as Ika with a contact number. The contact is not going through, but we are making frantic effort. That's why I'm saying that we are picking some intel, and it's very, very positive. So I must say that we assure the good group of Ghana that yes, this case is really on the heart of the police administration, especially the Inspector General of Police. For that matter, he has asked some officers, intelligence officers from Accra, forensic experts, and other intelligence people from Accra to join our men here in Kumasi to unravel the circumstances that led to the death of the young man, which they are on the ground working assiduously to unravel that. So I can assure you that yes, my checks at the department, CID department, they are giving me positive, what they call it, income.
Okay. Okay. DSP, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate the time and the update you've given us. We'll keep an eye on this. And if there are any updates, kindly let us know so we can share with the wider public.
That would be a problem. Immediately we get any update, we share.
Okay. DSP, thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
All right. That was DSP Godwin Ahianyo. He's head of the Public Affairs Unit with the Ashanti Regional Police Command. So he has confirmed that, yes, the statement did come from the police. Yes, he signed it, and is giving us details as to where the investigation is as things stand. Now, the update, for those who may not have heard, the update is that the IGP has put together a team. Okay, the IGP, Mr. Christian Tete Yohuno, has deployed a special team made up of homicide investigators, forensic experts, and intelligence officers to support the Ashanti Region Police Command with ongoing investigations into the death of a Senegalese national, Sheikh Toure, in Kumasi. So that's where we are now. So they are getting help, they are getting support from the National Command, and I'm sure if there are any updates, the police will put out statements and we'll share that with the wider public. As things stand, we cannot preempt the police investigation because the initial news story said the said gentleman was the victim of an abduction and all of that. The police say, listen, they are looking into it. So we'll keep an eye on that. As for these things, you have to wait until it plays out and then you can say anything. We cannot preempt the police investigation. So at least that's an update. We thank DSP Godwin Ahianyo for the info. 7:43. This is the Sporty Breakfast. I've seen a message on the office WhatsApp. I'm sure it must have come from a listener. They want to know where Raymond Yamado is. You're asking after Raymond Yamado. Meanwhile, if you were here, you'll be insulting him chaka, left and right. So they're asking where Raymond Yamado is. 7:43. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Raymond will be back. He'll be back. He's sorting out one or two things. He'll be back. Send me your comments. Last night's Champions League, I'm still laughing at the results. The results tickle me so much. You know, I just find the results so hilarious and quite interesting. I'm sure people who were following the game must have found it equally refreshing, and they must have found it exciting that there were so many goals in the UEFA Champions League games from last night. 43 goals, I'm told. When I did my count, how many red cards? 4 red cards in last night's Champions League game, 2 in the Bayer Leverkusen PSG game, 1 in the Paphos game, 1 in the Barcelona game, and the other in the Napoli encounter. So send me a WhatsApp message. Okay, or we should take some calls. My producers have given the green light. Give me a call. I want your reactions to last night's UEFA Champions League games. I want your reactions to last night's UEFA Champions League UEFA Champions League. That's why the score lines are absolutely funny. Like, they are so hilarious when I just look at the score line. But yeah, 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061, 030-279-4805. Give me a call. I want you to tell me about last night's Champions League games. Right? Let me take this caller. Hello. Yes. Michael, how are you doing? Good morning.
I'm fine. But today, it's like they do live worship.
Oh, Wednesday mornings are church service here. So Wednesday morning.
Okay. Because I'm saying, it's supposed to pan and attend live worship. We got a guy. He's a serious guy. That's what we tell him. Then they do. Oh, the market here, the camera. Who has no board camera? But then they enjoy the ink in your mouth, cool your champions. No, no, cabinet, I'll be.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, and I don't care.
But immortal be juma no pay na nenimu nyame fe. I don't know why. No say I am koyi.
O ye nyama ma ni kostuma. It's possible that me catch you. I didn't simple thing. Oh, you know,
I saw you kakra mu, but not see you expected big. I don't know what happened.
The people who must you. That's not too much. Since we go at the former state, you know, they be a person who must. They be a person who must happen. You know that day. Caribbean, I couldn't. I'm not that of deciding to do. Only time you bring out me. What go to do it? The one I'm saying you 7, 6, 4. Tell it. We cook over 2 hours. I just say you have a done for you on your mask. Can you do what they are? But I'll go to inquire there.
Okay.
But now me person in Senegalese boy.
Okay.
Now me be like. So if you come, now you get manager or what? Because that be the question. Because from Senegal they come Ghana, over Charles. At least the tank only be over count. That be the thing.
That's true. That's true. Well, the police, they are investigating. Right now, we cannot say anything. Say police are 70. They are looking into it. But that's an important question because if you're a young footballer, why are you going alone?
Sir, or say you question or say we know manager be and I say being count.
Because Uma had only mobile say.
Yeah, then language crowd will be problem because
that's true.
Yes, you can't English so I think sometimes if you are translating so a very difficult at least. But then when you a question the my young players in somewhere at least we will be counting so could be sana. We will be counting at the bow pa and there. That's true.
That's true. All right, that's true.
That's it.
Michael, thank you so much. Interesting point. So that's a bit of caution for young footballers. When you are leaving your country to go somewhere, always try and have somebody with you or know how to move around. Well, the police are looking into it. We can't preempt the investigation. We'll follow it all the way to the very end, and then we'll update our listeners. Hello?
Hello.
Yes. Yes. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Gabriel from Saturday.
Okay, Gabriel, please go ahead.
Today, my sister is asking about Raymond.
Who? Raymond?
Always, she enjoys the problem song. So, Gabriel, today, won't they play problem? I saw Ray is not. He said, "Oh, where is he going to?"
Ray's on. He'll be back soon.
That's fine. So you see my boys. Hey, before the match, sometimes some of the pundits after the match, before cut them last them proper.
Oh.
Some pundits so yesterday I think on the Fiaka show. So they can do some what analysis after the. After first half there, if the no fish score, they will found one thing, and then there. Hey, tell me, so who just this one be? Sometimes after the match, if I tag them visa video this one, then last them proper.
No, I beg you.
Oh, nice one. So yesterday I really had fun.
Okay.
You know, people were thinking, Atletico Madrid, you shut down the back against Atletico, shut down, but you only get experience, so you don't go far. So some petty things, but I really enjoyed myself. And then at this one, at PSG, what happens?
Sorry?
They go at PSG.
Yes, PSG, yes.
I didn't want the match, but from the scores.
Yeah, they won 7-2.
7-2, there's some red cards in flow.
Yes. Everybody got a red card. PSG got 1, Leverkusen got 1, but PSG scored 7.
Yesterday, the boys drink small water. I said, Immortal, they breathe. Immortal said he wants something small. He was disappointed because he wanted to win big. Immortal, you see that man in the office, you know. The landlord should get ready. We'll have my one day.
Okay, no problem. We'll give them advance warning.
Yeah, you want to have my
All right, thank you so much for your call. 7:51. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Give us a call 054-257-1061. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message, or you can call the other line 030-279 4805. Let me take this caller. Hello. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yep.
Yeah, there's Eric calling from Lashibi.
All right, Eric, please go ahead.
Yeah. So I would like to talk about Arsenal game and then the performance.
Yes, Arsenal beat Atletico by 4 yesterday.
Yes, this is the game that people were saying is going to be termed as the Haram bomb. But it turned out to be that there is one-sided game that Arsenal did yesterday. People are always complaining that Arsenal, we are a set-piece team. We score with set-piece. Yes. I don't see it to be a problem. I see it to be an advantage. And a craft that Arteta has mastered it very well. Look at the first goal. Atletico decided to play and pack the bus throughout the game. And then the game needed a goal for them to open up. Thankfully, we got our set piece goal. And I don't think it's a problem. But, rival fans are worried because it's Arsenal. You understand?
Okay.
They are worried because it's Arsenal. But I don't see it to be a problem.
Okay.
And those who are doubting Arsenal, Charlie, they should wake up. They should wake up because Arsenal this season, I can see that even though we are winning, it's not any ordinary. If we have to be crunched, we play hard to win. We play hard to. If we have to play the sexy football, we play to win. So this season, we have but we are still humble. It's just a 3 point. The team that I'm hoping that we should meet them is PSG.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I'm looking forward to that event.
Okay.
And thankfully for us, the only player that I've seen that is able to dominate us now when it comes to set pieces is Donnarumma. It's not with them. Unfortunately for us, he has joined us in England to play for Man City. But when that time comes, we see what we do. Thank you, Nathan.
All right. Thank you. 054-257-1061. 030-279-4805. You can also send us a WhatsApp message 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Young Stargo.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Ashima.
All right. Please go ahead.
I was the guy that met you at the Summer Food Festival.
Chairman, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Wonderful. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yesterday was really an eventful night because, Arsenal, we did our thing again by scoring 3 set pieces, like in one match, like amazing. And one thing I want to talk about, my highlight was our second goal. Luis Kelly to Martinelli. That goal can, I sure it can even win a 2 stars because it was just a cinema, So I just want to tell everybody that all the Arsenal fans, that we really have a great team and we should keep supporting. We should keep supporting. And one thing I want to talk about, my highlight was our second goal. Luis Kelly to Martinelli. That goal can, I sure it can even win a 2 stars because it was just a cinema, So I just want to
our team, and it's going to turn out great for us. And then, the investors yesterday was a really, really great day in the office. I hope that so pay attention to the performance game because it really didn't mean attention. Yeah, so we will be watching today's matches too, and we're expecting great results. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. 5 minutes to 8. 054-257-1061. 030-279-4805. You can also send us a WhatsApp message to the number 054-257-1061. Lambert in Dodowa is asking me for the title of the Problem song. Well, that's the title, Problem. That's the title of the song. The song is by Apache. You can find that on YouTube, right? Anyway, let me take this caller. Hello. Yes, good morning. Okay, Honorable, please go ahead.
Yes. I want to agree with one of the callers who spoke about some of your panelists. The panels who come when there is live match going on. I don't know if they want, especially some of the guys that come to Kotipiaka show. I don't know if they want to sound too critical or they want us to know that they know their game institutes or whatever. The way they speak and how they sound in some way.
How so?
In fact, in some way, you should tell them that your listeners are very, very much concerned about their comments and how they handle the issues and all that. It's very, very important.
Okay, so relax. So what do they say? What do they say that gets listeners, in your own words, concerned?
As I said, they sound so critical. A clear example is what one of the callers said. One of the panel, the way he was talking, Arsenal, if they don't score before the second half, they will be found one thing. The way he was talking, I think somebody who is trying to, I don't know how to put it, but it wasn't too a good pundit comment at all.
How so? He is asked a question. Relax. He's asked a question, and he gives his answer. So that is his answer. That is his opinion.
No, you see, games are played on two halves.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And even in the third half, you look at the way Arsenal played. We played very, very well. It's just that the chances couldn't happen the way we wanted it to finish it. You understand?
Okay.
So if you come in and speak as if because we didn't score in the first half, it's going to be difficult for us. But the way Atletico play, they always get tired in the second half.
Yeah, but again, Honorable, again,
and the way he was sounding,
again, it wasn't. You see, again, it is his perspective. So he views the game a certain way. I'm not holding brief for him, but we all view things different. If I paint a picture, or if we all look at the same picture, we all will not say the same thing. You understand?
You see, I'm not solely talking about the way he said it. I mean, what he said, but the way, man, not only the Arsenal team, how the punditry goes from their point, not the host, though.
No. Answer the host. The host can't say anything. He's hosting a show.
Some of the pundits, I mean, if we are all being realistic, most of the callers will tell you it's true. Some of the pundits, the way they talk, they don't speak like, forgive me, but they don't sound like professional pundits.
I don't know. See, I'm struggling to understand. Okay. So what is the problem? Is it that you don't like what they say, or they are overly critical of certain teams, or I'm trying to understand.
They are overly critical, and sometimes they sound more like they know the game even more than the people on the pitch playing and the coach. You see, that's what I'm trying to say.
Are we okay? No problem. Are we not all guilty of that sometimes?
We are, but when you are on radio as a pundit, you should know how to go about this kind of comment.
No problem. So how should they go about it? Okay, how should they go about it?
No, if you're a pundit, you shouldn't always try to be like you are Karaga. Karaga is trying to just make a name for himself from the way he talks. But you are a pundit here. You are not Karaga. You are not that person. You should be nice and speak I mean,
you should be what? You should be nice.
Because you are a pundit, you're a pundit. Oh, Arsenal, there, what I did. Oh, this team, there, you should be. No. I mean, if you would agree with me, I know it's hard for you to agree with me.
No, you see, the
most
point.
Most of your pundits agree with what I'm saying.
But they are not here.
They found some way.
They are not here for me to ask them. Okay, let me ask you a question. Relax. Let me ask you a question. Anibal, which team do you support?
Me, I support Arsenal and Madrid. Madrid is my second wife.
You should look at my production team in the studio. They are rolling over the floor in absolute laughter.
Arsenal, you see, what I'm saying, it's not only because of us now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's all be very.
Okay, let me. I
don't normally call on radio.
Relax, Anobu. So I'm coming. I understand you. So for example, so if assuming this set pundit, I don't know who it is. Assuming this set pundit goes and bashes a team like Liverpool, would you still call and say that he's been overly critical of Liverpool?
I will. You see, there is a way you should talk about it too. If you're a pundit, we callers, we are callers. Mm-hmm. So sometimes we can speak. Let me use, pardon my word. We can speak anyhow.
No way. No.
In an insult way.
I disagree with you. Callers should not speak anyhow because.
I don't mean.
But the point is that that's what I'm saying. That
we are insulting or too aggressive. But some of the words that we can use, I think the pundits in the studios are not supposed to use those words. The way we can be like inobjective about teams, the pundit shouldn't be like that. You have your team, even though you are a pundit. But when it comes to punditry, you should be fair. So we've gone round and round. So we've taken the long route and we've come to the point I wanted you to make. You should speak to facts, not because this team is not your team. So you want to talk about them anyhow because you're a pundit. No, you don't have to do that. I'm not the first person saying this. You're one of the callers spoke about the same thing. But you see, didn't have time to go into
I get it. You see, I get it. The reason why I get it. The reason why this conversation is a little nuanced is that you are an Arsenal fan. Michael from Ablikuma is an Arsenal fan. So some of these comments, when I hear, I'll have to filter them to understand what you're saying because my very natural instinct will be to say that because you're an Arsenal fan, you react that way. But I think I get the point. You made the point a few minutes ago, and I think I get the point you're making. So that's fair. Not because I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not referring to only Arsenal criticism. No. It's all around.
Okay, sometimes the way they talk about some of them, not all of them, they speak about some teams. At the end of the day, you see that the whole thing will be different. The team will come back and play better and do things well. And now they will be sitting there and they wouldn't know much to say. Then they will be fumbling. Trust me, we listen to all the programs. Because if he has a show, we listen to Fifi Banton. If Fifi Banton comes, we listen to him. Yesterday, I listened to that show with Prof and the other guy who is the lecturer. Jesse and the other guy. I've forgotten his name. It was a nice show. We really, really wanted to deal with Jesse, but I couldn't go through. You understand? The way he spoke about his team, Liverpool, before the season started and all that, blah, blah, blah. Liverpool is struggling, and he was trying to defend them. Most of the callers that got through, they dealt with him. You understand? That one, he was strictly because of his team. Yes. But those pundits that come because of the commentary and all that, So sometimes the way they go about it, you can monitor the show. Not today, this evening, monitor the show. And you realize what I'm saying and what some of the callers said is true.
Okay, all right. Yes. No problem. We'll look into that.
And yesterday, let me say, Immortal happened to me.
Oh, I see.
I mean, the same thing with Immortal. We overdid things, and trust me, what you could have gotten, we didn't get it. So some of us are not too happy.
All right.
And a good morning to all the callers and all the guys.
All right.
We are enjoying the show.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling. Oh, man. 054-257-1061. We'll get into the Champions League chit-chat with my guys in studio in a bit. But let me take a few more calls. Last night's results, I mean, I'm still laughing so much at the fact that on a Tuesday night, people conspired to score all these goals. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Ray. Nathan.
Yes.
this Gamal again.
Gamal, yes.
Yeah. Just some small clarity on what another was trying to put across.
Okay.
I think that one incident, that's why we reference it today. I don't know who was talking yesterday, but he made mention that anytime Arsenal doesn't score in the first half, in the second half, they come and they found one thing, and then boom, they end up losing the game with counter-attacks. Really? Nathan, we all watched this game, you understand? When was the last time Arsenal was hit with a counter-attack? When was the last time Arsenal didn't score in the first half and they came fumbling and the team scored them woto in the counter-attack? No, we are speaking, so we all watch the game. Mm-hmm. So you come on my dad is always on Sporty, 24/7. Mm-hmm. So you come on a very big platform like this and you talk like this with so much confidence. And sometimes when I'm on radio, I always chip in that it's my opinion. Mm-hmm. You understand? So going forward, it's like I can't find someone's opinion, but facts are facts.
Okay. I mean, that's true. That's true.
You should always feel as if it's like what you say is what it is. You are expressing your opinion. Once you remind us that what I say is your opinion, whatever you say, nobody will bother. But when we are listening to this big platform, we assume that okay, you understand? Some research has gone through. You are come to talk, and it's very hurting. Some of us we follow this football with our everything. So when you come and then what you're saying is not so factual, and it's a bit, we'll have to speak out. You understand? Because you always speak out to something you love. I hope you understand.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's what I want to add.
Okay, all right, no problem. Okay. Thank you so much, Gamel. All right, a few comments. Dino Jr. says, we Barca fans want to thank Man United for giving us Rashford. All right, let's take a few more calls and then we can get into the Champions League conversation. We'll talk about the Black Queens too. They are getting ready to play against Egypt tomorrow. But let me take two more calls and then we proceed. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Nana.
Okay.
From Atako.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, so like what the callers were saying, I just want to say that before I move on to Liverpool. So I realized that I don't know if some of your shows are more like fanaticism is allowed. So if you're a Chelsea fan, it's like this, you see this GCR kind of argument, like a banter kind of. So that's how I understand some of your shows. So I don't know if that is how the programs are arranged, but there are some of your shows, like what the guy said, the facts are not what is being told. So you feel like, why is this pandit saying this? Meanwhile, it has not happened within the season. You understand? So for Nathan, I know you from City. When I'm listening to you, you're a United fan or a Gophers fan. So ideally, as a United fan, you don't like Liverpool. But when you're trying to break down games, I don't see that fanatic part of you, like because you are a United fan, everything about Liverpool is wrong. No. So that is why I want to listen to you, learn more. I feel like you know more about football, tactics, and I like your guy from Kumasi. Usually I have to wait, even if I'm going to office, I have to get my earpiece and listen to him. You understand? He breaks the game he makes it very simple. But I don't know if some of your shows are on that kind of tangent. Then as somebody who listens to the show, this program is like this, so I'm used to it. When you call in, you also bring in your banter and they will move forward. But for Liverpool, I think, Nathan, if you remember, I called in before the season started, when we started buying these players, and I told you that this team, the way we are conceding from even from the previous seasons, and from our peak seasons at the club, a DM in the stature of Fabinho, tall, aggressive, every good thing, you look at all the good things, every good thing in any league has those kind of DMs, like very aggressive, they show the defense and all that. I don't understand why we are spending, even as at now when I read Liverpool stories on the timeline. They are looking for another attacker, Semenyo. Nobody is thinking about the midfield. Now, if Gravenberg it gets hurt, I don't know who's going to play. It's going to be either Soboslai or Curtis Jones and then McAllister. We don't have, and the only DM, like proper DM we have is Endo. Look at his height. He's not that aggressive, although he holds onto the ball, but he's not that aggressive. And look at the number of games a team like Liverpool will be playing. I don't understand why Liverpool needs a DM in the form of either Kamavinga or Tchouaméni or Baliba. That is how we should even start from. Like, I like what Arsenal is doing. So how they built their team, they built it from the back. Now Arsenal can beat Atletico Madrid 4-0. Was it 4-0 or 5-0?
4-0. Yeah, it was 4.
And Nathan, I'm telling you, today Liverpool will concede. Liverpool, whether they are going to win or not, I know they are going to concede. The weekend against Brentford, they will concede. I'll call you in, and then we'll discuss the game. The team concedes too much, and it is because I don't know what the coach is doing, and his own focus is 4-2-4, and he's focusing on the attacks more than the midfield.
Well, they say goals win you games, right? So maybe he's trying to score a lot more than the opponent. You score. I just score more than you, and then I win.
Defense also wins you titles.
That is true. That is equally true.
Yes. So I don't like teams where you have to score 4-3 to win games. If you have to score 1 and then we win, we get our 3 points. Fair. But from preseason, Nathan, even Preston not scored against us. And that day, I stick the bet. Preston not to score. It was just like last minute and they scored. From that time, Nathan, just follow the team. They conceded. It's just like I have another theory. Como almost scores in all their games. So it's either every Saturday, if you are not doing anything, you have your hand raised. It's Como to score, Liverpool to concede. That's
bet on Como to score, Liverpool to concede. I agree with you. It's true. I mean, you can tell that there's something wrong with this Liverpool team. They are giving away too many goals, and it is not a good sign. It's not a very good sign, when a team is conceding. Well, I understand your concern, and it's a very legitimate one.
And it's like, so this is my opinion about Slot. I think he's somebody who has learned a lot, and he was waiting for opportunity to get maybe a dream job. So after getting it, it's like he has a lot of information on his computer. So now,
he wants to experiment and put out all the info.
Exactly. It's just like one of our managers who was promoted to managerial position. He wanted to just change everything. It wasn't working. You understand? This is the second season. Mm-hmm. This is second. It should have taken his time. Even the way we change the team is I think it's too much. Apart from Jota's loss, I think we shouldn't have been just replacing all these players in just your second season. Take your time. What do you want to do? Nathan, I'm not a coach. I've not gone to any managerial school, those things. Coach, I don't have any coaching license. But Nathan, don't you see that Liverpool needs a centre back? Now our backup centre back is Gomez. Gomez has been around for God knows when, and he is still around. He's not starting games. They will sign new players. Third options will come and play ahead of him. He's still around. What is your plan? If you want to move Gomez on, get centre back. I don't know why you don't go in for Gay long time, but we are just buying our attackers. Charlie.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We'll put a pause on the calls for now. Let me read. So I've read Dino Jr.'s message. I've read Lambert's message. So Lambert, the title of the song is Problem by Apache. So that's the info for you. I've blessed you with Apache song this morning. This one says, some of us like the heat the pundits bring. We don't like it all the time, and sometimes they rub us the wrong way. But how you for do? Some people like their shito hot, others mild. Hey, the shito comparison is in the house. Okay, no, you know what? Let me take this last caller, and then we can get into Champions League talk. We'll do a few things, Black Queens, and a few other things before we leave. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
This is Mark from Amazon.
All right, please go ahead.
You see, I want to talk about what the Arsenal fans are saying, that the fan base have not been saying things like good about them. So I want to talk about that issue.
Okay, all right.
Me, I'm a Barca fan. But when the pundits talk on your channel, on Sporty FM, they say things from their point of view. And sometimes I may not be happy. But if you guys see, it's the fact. Me, I see it as the fact. What they are saying is their point of view and their fact. So I don't see why you should be disturbed when they say that. They have not insulted your team. They have not said anything bad about your team. So why are Arsenal fans complaining? You always want people to say good things about their team. See, when Barca lost to Sevilla, what your pundit said entirely, it was like I could not even take it, but it is a fact. You understand? It is a fact. I could not take it, but it was a fact that we were saying. So Arsenal fans should just chill. It's not every day that you'll be saying good things about your team. Sometimes, yeah, you go take them. Sometimes you don't go take them, and they have not insulted anybody. So please, they should just chill.
Okay, all right. All right, we'll put a pause on the calls. 8:15. Let's proceed with the conversation. We'll be bringing in Michael Asaibedu in a bit. He'll be joining us as we do some Champions League chit-chat. This morning, are we connecting to Madrid? I'm sure we'll be connecting to Madrid. We need to find out the flavor in Madrid ahead of tonight. It's Real Madrid versus Juventus in the UEFA Champions League. People are still. Should I take one more? Last one. Okay, let me take this last caller and then we proceed. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Sorry, how is it?
I'm fine.
Okay, my name is Seth from Metro Hatchery.
Okay, please go ahead.
So this conversation about Arsenal. Arsenal, you remember what I ever told him?
Sorry?
Arsenal.
Sorry.
You know what I ever said about Arsenal?
Okay, what is it?
He said Arsenal fans are the problem, not the coach. The fans are the problem. They're like a series. Every year they say they'll win the league. They'll do that. We all yet whether you can win something.
But this morning, who has mentioned Arsenal fans? Hey, you people.
Now, why are they complaining? So is it only them that they are talking? People talk about Arsenal, they talk about Liverpool, talk about Chelsea. What is it that the person said about Arsenal? They should give us a break. Arteta will not win anything. They will not win anything. Trust me.
Hey, isn't it a bit too early? It's too early in the season for.
I used to be an Arsenal fan. So they break our heart to me.
You used to be an Arsenal. Which fan walks away from their team?
I have retired now.
If you are a fan, it's a lifelong marriage. You never walk away from it.
The heartbreak is too much.
This could be the year,
Every year, this one is started again.
But it's too early in the season. It's too early.
On their side, they won't say anything. When they go against them, they'll be talking. It's like that. Sometimes games, something will go for you, some will go against you. You just take it like that and then move on. Arsenal fans, we like complaining too much.
Okay, so you still associate with Arsenal then?
No, I'm not.
But you just said Arsenal fans, we complain. You just said we.
I'm sticking with the foot for now.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for the call.
Thank you.
How do people say they've stopped? How can you say you've stopped supporting it? You can't. In 2015, I was in the UK and I saw this old man. I mean, I don't know if the man is still alive, but the man looked like he was in his 60s. Behind his Arsenal jersey, the following words were written. He says, "My wife knows that Arsenal is and will forever be my first love." So this is a man in his 60s as of 2015. We'll be getting to the Black Queens camp. Tomorrow they play against Egypt in the WAFCON qualifiers. We'll try and get an update on how the team is getting ready for this very important qualifier. Now, why is it important? It's important because should the Black Queens overcome Egypt over 2 legs, they are going into the AFCON. The next women's AFCON in Morocco next year, around March, April, will determine the African teams that will play in the Women's World Cup in Brazil in 2027. So next year's WAFCON is very, very, very important. And we want the Black Queens to be there. so they can have a shot at qualifying for the Women's World Cup. They haven't been there in a while. And so it's very important that we support the Queens so they qualify for that AFCON. That is the first step. Once they get to the Women's AFCON, they'll have to make their way to the semi-final and see if they can qualify to the Women's World Cup. So, yeah. Anyway, let me go through the Champions League scores again. I love the Champions League scores. Kelvin, I love the scores from last night. Goals. Hey!
It was lovely. These are the kind of games you want to watch every Champions League night. Not haram football. Not haram football.
Barca 6, Olympiacos 1. Kairat Almaty 0, Pafos 0. UEFA, please take the points from them. How can you play 0-0 on a night when everybody's scoring? Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. Bayer Leverkusen 2, PSG 7. FC Copenhagen 2, Dortmund 4. Very interesting game, that one. Felix Imecha played very well in that game. Newcastle 3, Benfica 0. Hey, Jose. PSV 6, Napoli 2. Kelvin, this is the most mysterious result. This one, PSV 6, Napoli 2. Napoli pa. Bah.
It's a bit of a shocker for Napoli to just sit down and then lose the game by that margin.
And then, Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 4, Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Inter 4.
Hey, you wanted to give Inter scoreline to somebody.
I beg them, Inter, forgive me. And then Villarreal 0, Man City 2. Look at it now. Because of this scoreline, we'll say that Man City were the lowest scorers on the night. Others are scoring 4, 3, 6, 7.
But isn't that true?
Well, it is. I just find it quite interesting that Man City scored only 2. But they are not an easy side to play against, but they managed to get the win. So we'll come back to the Champions League in a bit, but we are taking a bit of a slight detour, small detour.
Yeah.
Small detour. We'll be speaking with the aide to the sports minister, Wanda Mandel. And he'll be explaining a few things. Now, let me read this statement or this Facebook post by the foreign minister, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, Honorable, and he's still an MP. And the post says, quote, yesterday I convened meetings with officials of the U.S. Embassy and Canadian High Commission to commence discussions on visa arrangements for Ghanaian football fans following the qualification of the Black Stars to the World Cup. The Ghanaian side was made up of the technical advisor to the sports minister, Honorable Betty Crosby Mensah, the GFA president, Kerto Kraku, senior directors of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the U.S. team was led by Rolf Olsen, who's the acting ambassador, whilst the Canadian acting High Commissioner, Dennis Roussel, led the Canadian delegation. The objectives of these engagements include ensuring that there's mutual understanding of all sides on expectations and requirements, enhancing coordination and improving visa facilitation, and developing clear working roadmaps to maximize satisfaction. And there are pictures there of that particular meeting. Guys, is Wanda on? Is Wanda on yet? Okay, Wanda is not on yet. So that's just the Facebook post from or put together by the foreign minister, Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa MP, talking about the meeting that he convened, and the meeting had himself there as foreign minister, representatives from the US and Canada, and representatives from the GFA. I think it's a very important meeting. A very, very important meeting, especially on the diplomatic side, because of, the US, Canada, the fact that Ghanaians are going, the fact that the countries involved have a generally or broadly, they have a very good relationship. And so it's important that on the diplomatic side, we ensure that things are laid out well. Wanda Mandela has joined us. Wanda is the aide to the sports minister. We want to get a better understanding of this meeting, and maybe we'll ask 1 or 2 questions and we'll proceed. Wanda, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing?
Yes, we are fine. How are you doing?
We are blessed by the grace of God. We just keep working and then following your hard work you've been doing for Mother Ghana.
Thank you so much. You are equally working hard. I just read a post from the Foreign Minister, Mr. Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, talking about a meeting that he convened involving the GFA, the acting Canadian High Commissioner, acting U.S. Ambassador, to talk broadly about Ghana's journey to the World Cup, especially for the fans. Can you just run us through some of the high points from that meeting? What were some of the things said? And then we can pick up the conversation from there.
Okay, so thank you, Nathan. Good morning to your lovely listeners. Good morning to the good people of Ghana. The meeting convened yesterday by the Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, Honorable Okudzeto-Ablakwa. Specifically, it was to address the issues of the World Cup. You know, we've qualified for the 5th World Cup that will be happening in Canada, USA, Mexico. And if you are in the terrain, you'll know that during this period, Ghana as a sport nation will have a lot of our people, a lot of our fans who would like to go and then cheer the Black Stars to victory, to do more than what we did in South Africa. So then there's that need to align with the host countries. So there have been several engagements before this, and this one is especially involving all the main parties. So the Honorable Okudzeto-Ablakwa called that meeting yesterday between the FA, the Canadian High Commission, and then the American Embassy, and then the ministry itself. Purposely is just to align on the documents needed and the visa processes and all the information that every fan that wants to travel to US, Canada, or Mexico will need to have, and how best we can make sure the system work fluently to have a specialized way, because this is not just a regular travel that you are traveling. So basically, that's what the meeting is about. It's about how we can streamline the document processes for fans and make sure things move smoothly and easily for every Ghanaian that wants to go to US, Mexico, or Canada to participate.
I see. Okay. Yeah. I mean, were there any big takeaways from the meeting in terms of when will the public get to know what some of these requirements are? Are these requirements still being refined? What did the Americans say? What did the Canadians say? All of that.
Okay, so I think the engagement is still at its preliminary stages. The conversation that we had yesterday was a good one, was a positive one, because the Honorable Minister Okudzeto-Ablakwa made them know this is a special events, and some of the restrictions and all those requirements must be, for the lack of a better word, handled differently, like kind of not being too hard on the process. And this is because a lot of Ghana is a sports nation. We are a football-loving country, and looking at one of the major conversations now is to discuss quotas that will be given from each embassy, that will be communicated to the sports ministry on how to handle the necessary documents required, and the quota that each embassy and high commission will be given to Ghana to this World Cup. So there's a whole lot of bargain conversations on the numbers, on the documents required, and also the same time on the process. So the biggest takeaway right now is the numbers and then the quotas that we've left to the Embassy of the United States of America and the High Commission of Canada to go back and then write to us officially on the quotas that they can deal with, and then the procedures, and this will be communicated to the public appropriately at the right time. Because the challenge is that we don't want to get closer before we'll now be addressing these issues. So it's better we do it now and make sure every information is out there in the system, so that every Ghanaian that wants to go out there to go and share the World Cup know what is involved, know the numbers, and know how to have it own way around. I know by Friday, by Friday we'll be meeting the Mexican ambassador as well to discuss with her as well, because now we just met with US and then Canada. We'll be discussing with Mexico too as well to see the processes.
Finally, Wanda, concerning Ghanaian fans, there are people would want to go and all of that. You have issues of travel agencies, especially when it comes around, when we have these big sporting events, all kinds of travel agencies show up. And by the time things settle, you hear all kinds of horror stories. I don't know if you can or if there's any info to that effect. Are there any measures the ministry is putting in place to ensure that only certified and very official travel agents or agencies will be the ones to handle all of these things? Are there any discussions in that line to ensure that reputable travel firms will be the ones to handle the processes to ensure that we don't have any issues post World Cup or during the competition?
Nathan, you are perfectly right. If you've really followed our trajectory going to the World Cup, from issues from 2010, issues in 2014, issues in 2022, this time around, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Kofi Adams, is not leaving anything to chance or saying that we should just follow the norm again. No. We've learned the lessons from the Jamepe report. We've seen what has been done in the past that didn't go well, and we are not following that trend. So there's going to be a lot of regularization. Very soon, you will see a lot of formalization processes that will be outlined and that will communicate to the media appropriately. Or every travel and tour that wants to maybe do it on a private side or work with government to send supporters to this 2026 World Cup, there's going to be a lot of regulations. There's going to be a proper formalization process that no fan go out there and then get stuck or lack of a better way, maybe run away. There's going to be a proper streamlined process to put Ghana in the good light. We are not going to leave everything ajar. There's not going to be any process of travel and tours doing their thing their own way, because at the end of the day, these are citizens of Ghana going to a country to go and cheer the Black Stars. So Minister is very cautious of this, and he's putting in measures to regularize every travel and tour. We are going to have this conversation. There'll be registration with the ministry. There will be some level of enforcement and also regularization from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure that every company or every travel and tour that wants to deal with fan-based engagement and sending fans are checked. We have their documents, everything is on point, and have the track record and regularized. This time around, we are not going to leave things to just one travel and tour to handle, because the numbers are huge. Whatever government is bargaining for right now on with these embassies, we hope that the quotas will be great to make sure we have fair representation of Ghanaians in the US, Canada, and Mexico. So we can leave the numbers just to one person or one travel and tour, but we are going to open it up for them to handle, because as the Honorable Minister said, things are not going to be the same as is done in the past. No, it's not going to be like government just sending supporters to the World Cup just like that. We're going to regularize everything from the fans to the travel and tours. Everything will be firmly regularized.
I see. Wanda, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Nathan. Thank you, Nathan.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Wanda Mandel. He's the aide to the sports minister, giving us some more info concerning the meeting that the foreign minister had with representatives of the US, Canada. As you heard, they will be meeting representatives from Mexico soon, and those meetings had the GFA there and the sports ministry there as well, all in a bit to lay out the modalities and to ensure that if you want to go and watch the World Cup, if you have all your documentation, it's easier for you to go get a visa. You go and come back. And I can't stress enough on this. If you are going to the world, go and watch and come back. Just don't cause problems for anybody. 8:34. So that was the diversion. That was the sidetrack we took. But But let's get back to the Champions League. Oh, I love the Champions League scores. The scores are really nice. Barca 6, Olympiacos 1, Kairat Almaty 0, Pafos 0, Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0, Bayer Leverkusen 2, PSG 7, FC Copenhagen 2, Dortmund 4, Newcastle 3, Benfica 0, PSV 6, Napoli 2, Royal Union Saint-Gilloise 0, Inter 4, Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2. You can send in your comments 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. What did you make of the Champions League? Send me your comments. Which player stood out for you? Which result stood out for you? What did you like about last night's Champions League game? What didn't you like about last night's Champions League game? And then we'll review or preview what will happen tonight in the Champions League. Kelvin Owusu is here. Michael Asaiboedu is on my monitors. Kelvin, let me take your thoughts on the games yesterday. I'm sure a lot of your attention was on the Arsenal game, but I'm sure you were following others too.
Yeah, I decided to watch that game. I was looking at, a highly defensive Arteta against a highly defensive, Simeone. I knew Arsenal had the weapons and had the ability to break down the Atletico Madrid defense a lot more. And looking at how these two sides have played this season, if anybody is going to concede, it's going to be Atletico, though they've managed to win some of the games, but they do concede, more goals than Arsenal do concede. Initially, it was quite difficult. Arsenal missed a number of glorious opportunities. Eberechi has this bounced effort coming off the crossbar, and then when it got met by Declan Rice, he couldn't find the target. But as the game progressed, what Arsenal needed was just, the breakthrough. And it came from a set piece. One area that, Atletico Madrid have also been, very good at in recent times. Mm-hmm. But I tried to say it. I don't know what is it with Gabriel. He manages to find positions out of the sight of many defenders. I'm like, how does he do that? Because if you look at corner case coming in, and then the biggest threat is not Saliba. Saliba will be bustling, but he won't get to the ball when he's defending. But Gabriel is always the player who is going to get to the ball. And he almost always finds that space to connect to it. I think that was a sweet delivery. Once that was given, it opened the game up a bit more. Atletico decided to now push forward for the equalizer, and then it took Miles Lewis Kelly with that brilliant turn in midfield.
Wonderful run.
And it tells you about the traits and then his original profile as a central midfielder. That is where that boy is supposed to play, but Arsenal is converting him to a left back at youth level. That was his position, and you just saw the 10, typical of Thomas Partey. But because he has eyes for goals more than Partey would want the final pass, he decided to run with the ball, and then he made that pass, which I think Gabriel Martinelli yesterday, once the pass went, I was like, come on, the way this guy is going to open up his body is going to be a problem. But he managed to have a very sweet connection to the ball, and it was beyond the reach of Oblak, who before that had saved some 2 point blank efforts from Victor Gyökeres in there. So it was all about Arsenal yesterday. After the first goal, the second goal came. It opened the game up a bit more, and then Victor Gyökeres decided to just pounce on and then get his goals. Unfortunately for Bukayo Saka, he couldn't get it. But there's something I don't seem to get. Arsenal, in as much as they change their back line, one or two players coming. Today, Calafiori. The next day is Miles Lewis Kelly. Today is Mosquera and Saliba. The next day is Saliba and Gabriel. The next day is Gabriel and Mosquera. They still find a way to make sure that back line is kept intact. But there were a couple of instances which I think that Arsenal decided to, be a bit complacent. Raya was one of them. In midfield, Declan Rice was one of them.
Okay.
And even in the defense, William Saliba was one of them. They nearly gave balls away, which nearly hurt Arsenal. And trust you me, Julian Alvarez yesterday, it was just an off day for him. If it was his usual clinical self, he would have finished up Arsenal in the first 50, 60 minutes of the game. But that notwithstanding, I think it was a good victory for the Gunners. Surprisingly, surprisingly, Napoli losing by that margin to Ajax. I don't know.
To PSV.
Sorry, to PSV. I'm like, what actually happened for them to lose by that margin? It was a thumping. This time you don't say a loss. It was a battering.
No,
they were just battered. They were annihilated, and I was like, come on, this is not the Napoli we've been seeing. Is there a problem? Is there something wrong? Because if Manchester City is beating you, and then you go to PSV, and then they also decide to just dismantle your team like that, it raises a lot of questions. And they were in a bit of disarray. I'm like, how is it that Napoli of all teams are just being washed away, this way? And let's not forget that this is a team that is coached by one of the most pragmatic managers you would ever get or you would ever find. Is Antonio Conte. He has Scott McTominay, Kevin De Bruyne, Zambo Anguissa, Matteo Politano, and he even has Billy Gilmore sitting in front of the defense. But yesterday they were leaking. Maybe the red card might have played a part, but I think they were just overpowered. PSV knew exactly what they wanted to do, and then they just dismantled them. It was a masterstroke from Peter Bosz. I'm sure he just identified the loopholes in the Napoli team, and then together with that is Dennis Mann and then Ivan Perisic, they managed to just tear apart that team. But I think
causing problems for Napoli,
with his experience and with his knowledge of the Italian game. You could just understand how he was, running down the left-hand side and making sure that De Lorenzo had, a lot of worry about what to do. But eventually, Saibari, I think, he had a pretty decent game yesterday. Jonas Viemantu in midfield, it was just brilliant, and we just hope that this would continue for PSV. They are a bit inconsistent. Once you've gotten rid of Napoli, you should stay consistent and be giving other teams some sort of battle in games you play against them.
Let me bring Michael Asai-Bredo in. Michael, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Nathan. I'm good. How about you?
Yes, we are fine. Let's start off with the PSV Napoli game. For me, it's the most surprising because I say that Peter Bosz's teams only know how to play one style, and that is attack, attack, attack. So I found it really strange that Napoli of all teams would be this wide open, even though you are one man down, playing against PSV. And it kept repeating itself, and then they went on to score 6. I don't know if you are as shocked as I am, or it's an Antonio Conte thing. In Europe, his record is really not the greatest.
I think oftentimes we excuse him because of his inefficiencies as regards the European games that he plays. But it only points to the fact that he's a bad coach. That is a fact. He's a bad coach. And without key players, he struggles to cope. He struggles to get the results. He cannot coach, let's say, average players to get decent results, even against teams that are less fancy. Then if you judge by how Napoli played against Torino, clearly it was evident that Napoli was struggling because they didn't have a profile like maybe Lukaku, maybe Rasmus Højlund, and Conte has not been able to crack the code regarding how to use Luka. And so in attack, they were very blunt. They did not create to suit the kind of forward that they have at their disposal. And it's similar to the game against PSV Eindhoven. And another trait of an Antonio Conte team is that when you press them, they are very uncomfortable. They can't build up. And in the game against Torino, it happened. There was Shea Adams and then the son of Diego Simeone, which is Giovanni Simeone. They kept pressing the Napoli defense, and that affected their build-up. And they could not find an alternative. They could not find a plan B. And that has always been the weakness in an Antonio Conte setup. When the ultimate plan fails, they don't know what next to do. And he himself is left tinkering on the bench. He's at a point in time clueless, and it becomes a bigger issue. So I think, yes, Conte might have achieved success in the way that he's done, but if you carefully study the successes he chalked, it was against teams that he had relatively better quality done and had a deeper squad done. But when the playing ground is level and he has to compete fairly and use tactics, he basically struggles. And that's why I think that it was partly exposed yesterday. Now, Peter Bosch is one of the shrewd tacticians you can find in the game. As you mentioned, he's a forward-thinking manager. His teams don't know how to sit back. They take the game to you. So it is much more like, this is what we can do. What more can you offer? So you need to match him boot for boot. You need to outthink him. You need to play tactics that will override what he is coming into the game with. And Antonio Conte and Napoli could not offer that. I was expecting that they would have seized the moment after scoring the first goal from Scott McTominay. But even before that goal, they were not in the game. And so in seizing that moment, it meant that they would have taken charge of the game and then controlled it in a manner that suited their game plan. But they still allowed PSV Eindhoven to continue from where they were previously before the goal was scored. And then the results showed. PSG were rewarded for their hard work. They kept pressing. They kept creating decent chances. They were relentless. And Napoli could not cope. And that is why the scoreline played out in that manner. So I think Antonio Conte would need to improve in terms of his coaching. It is not just in Europe now. Even in the Serie A, there are teams that are catching up. AC Milan have bulked up. They've improved. And it looks like they have the best midfield set in the league as it stands, with Modric, with Rabiot, and then Fofana. Clearly, they complement each other, and they are playing so well. So it's not surprising you see Milan at the summit of the Serie A table. If you look at Inter Milan, they seems to have cracked the code as regards how Kibu wants them to play, and they're also doing so well. So in Europe, Conte might be excused, even in the Serie A. Now, the scrutiny will be much more on him. And the biggest issue is that he has all the players, but he's not coaching them properly. And that is why they are not getting the results they are supposed to get. And they would need to improve from there. So, yes, it is an Antonio Conte problem. And the sooner he solves it, the better it will be for the prospects of Napoli this season.
Well, Napoli, that collapse was extraordinary. Lorenzo Luca getting sent off 40 minutes left on the clock for gross disrespect. I wonder why players still do some of these things. You commit a foul, and then you are gesticulating violently at the referee, pointing to your head, almost telling the referee he's making a senseless decision. And then the referee, there was a straight red card for unsportsmanlike conduct. And I thought that was brilliant refereeing there, just to clamp on indiscipline by some of these players.
I think it's one thing that the referees are not going to joke with this season. Zubimendi committed a free kick. He remonstrated, and then he was also given a yellow card for it. So I think it's more about discipline and then, respect for referees and decisions that they make. Clearly, it was a foul against Zubimendi, and now he's cost Arsenal his absence against that ahead of the game against Slavia Prague. So I think it's very good. We need to stamp the referees need to stamp the authorities on some of these acts, and it's good. But even after that red card, they shouldn't have lost by that margin. But just like Michael is saying,
it was if you don't have after the red card,
yes,
it was 4-1.
Yes.
Dennis Mann made it 4-1. 80 minutes on the clock. So at that point, hunker down.
Yes.
Stop the rot. Stop the leakage.
Game was over. They just destroyed before that, and that's Michael.
Michael, you want to make a point?
Yeah, they were frustrated, and for Luka, he felt he was going to be the main man, especially in the absence of Lukaku. We all know Lukaku was injured before the season started, and then here comes Rasmus Højlund, and he's still in the headlines. And then in the games that Højlund has missed, Luka fluffed his lines against Torino. So in this game, he was very expectant that he would deliver. And that also did not really happen. So he was frustrated personally. And then collectively, Napoli, as we used to say, quote unquote, they were not seeing top. So they were just frustrated. And that is it. And it is much more like, I know I can do more, but tactics are restricting me. And that is a Conte problem I spoke of earlier. The players know they can deliver more, they can do better than they are doing, but it is Antonio Conte. And I don't know, but clearly it is a Conte problem and they need to sort it out. But before the red card, the game was done, and that's it. The red card compounded the woes of Napoli, and that is what exactly happened. But PSV did not win by this margin just because it was a red card to Napoli. Napoli were that bad. They were very bad.
You're all right. Antonio Conte's European credentials under the microscope there. Other results, Barcelona winning by 6-1. Michael, yesterday when we previewed this game, you did mention that the return of Fermin Lopez was a good thing for Barcelona, and he showed up big time, scored a hat-trick on the day. It was a wonderful performance from the young man.
Yep. And he's one of the most underrated players in this Barcelona squad. And I started to take keen interest in him when he bounced onto the scene during the time of Xabi. But I think he really won my respect and admiration when he went all the way to win gold with the Spain Olympic team. And clearly in the final against France, you look at how star-studded the French team was. But he held his own, led the team brilliantly, and then he delivered. Then I started to really accept that he was one destined for greatness. So
that was when I also became a believer. That was when I also joined the Fermin Lopez party, because I kept wondering why he wasn't getting the needed recognition at the club, why he wasn't getting minutes. But the gentleman is a fantastic footballer.
Exactly. So I think his addition gives Barcelona options. It helps Hansi Flick. And his profile means that he can play as a de facto number 9, can play as a number 10 as and when, can also do a solid job on the flanks when the need arises. So he's a valuable member to this team. And I love the runs that he makes into the penalty box. He times it perfectly and is able to profit from such instances. Just check the first goal he scored. Initially, he had to make the pass to Lamine Yamal. When it happened that Yamal was not able to take control of the situation, he seized the moment and had to bury the ball into the net. It was just being at the right place at the right time. His timing, his positioning, it is excellent. He gives Barcelona a whole new dimension. He's similar to Dani Olmo, but I think because of Dani Olmo's injury issues, it's kind of hampered Olmo's movement. And that is what Fermin Lopez guarantees you, the movement, the positioning. It is excellent. And it allows the other forward players to also enjoy that. They profit from it. Marcus Rashford, Lamine Yamal. Fermin Lopez brought them into the game, and it makes it all beautiful. And I'm very happy that his hard work and everything good that he does on the pitch was rewarded with a hat-trick and then the player of the match. But I think there's a result that flatters Barcelona. And if the Barca fans want to draw some kind of motivation to fuel them into the El Clasico, I want to advise them to tread cautiously. And I say this because, Barca were leading 2-0, but some controversial decisions showed the Olympiacos goal that was disallowed should it have stood the penalty the Olympiacos had, and then the red card that they had. I look at all these things and I think maybe the game would have twisted differently if not for the ejection of the Olympiacos player. I think they gave themselves a chance when Ayub El Kabi scored that penalty to lower the deficit or reduce the deficit. And that is why I think Barcelona were not so convincing. Something still does not click in this Barcelona team. Maybe they felt it is a game that they will stroll to a win, and then the temperament, how they entered the game will be different from how they enter a typical El Clasico game. But I still think something is definitely not right with this Barcelona team, especially their defense. The absence of Juan Garcia is affecting Barca. Before he went out due to injury, he was preventing a minimum of a goal per game. Now, since Szczesny came, his goal prevention ratio is 0.53, so there's been a drop. Juan Garcia was 0.97, Szczesny is 0.53. So clearly, there's been a drop in terms of goalkeeping performance. And it tells in the saves per game, Szczesny is giving you 3 point something, and then Juan Garcia was giving you 5 saves per game on the minimum. So there is a difference here. Szczesny is a good goalkeeper. I will take nothing away from him. But the performance levels, as per this season, in terms of the numbers delivered by Juan Garcia and Szczesny, there is a gap, there is a difference. And that will affect them too. Their defensive setup. And I don't know why, but Hansi Flick in the game against Girona decided to try something out, do something that was unorthodox. He placed Ronald Araujo as a center forward. I've not seen Hansi Flick do this before, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. And he decided to place him there. He got the reward. So it means if he tweaks a bit of his plan A, he will get the result. And as it has showed in the offensive actions that he did. Why is it that in his defensive line, after losing Inigo Martinez, he's not able to do some tweaks to make sure that the players available now can cope with the demands of playing such a high line. And that is why I think it will really affect them. If he does not make tweaks, Barcelona will consistently be punished as a result of this. They are not defending well in attack. They still have the players to deliver. Yesterday, we still did not have Rafinha. I think he's the most important attacker that Barcelona has because of what he does with and without the ball. Without the ball, he's their first point of pressing. He triggers their press. He makes them efficient. He drives them along. Rafinha has energy. So without the ball, he's very crucial to how Hansi Flick wants this Barca team to press the opponent and then retrieve possession. Without him, there are very few players in there who can do that. Rashford does not have it in his DNA. He's now learning it. So he's not as efficient as Rafinha will give you. Then again, Ferran Torres, he's the closest to Rafinha in terms of triggering the press of Barcelona in this side. But he just returned from injury and he's not really match fit to go. So Barca have issues to sort out. So if they just look at the 6-1 result against Olympiacos and think, yes, we are ready for the El Clasico, I beg to differ. I will want to descend from that narrative. Clearly, Barcelona are not there yet. They are not in prime shape yet. And this result, if they focus solely on it, might cloud their judgment, might make them exaggerate how good they are. And then the reality check will dawn on them when they face Real Madrid. But I still think, yep, they would appreciate that Olympiacos is different from Real, and then they will do things differently. But it was a good result. It takes away a lot of pressure. It takes away a lot of nerves. Their win against Girona came in the latter part of the game. But in this, they scored more goals. It kind of brings back that confidence, that suave around them, that they were a team that could attack with swagger and get the results. It gives them that vibes, and it's good that they approach this El Clasico in this kind of psyche or with this kind of mentality. That will be the one that helps them. But in terms of the performance, I don't think the results justify the performance that they put up.
Interesting result. Barcelona winning by 6-1. The final game we'll look at in terms of the review, defending champion PSG winning by 7-2 in Germany. And the interesting part is that the two teams all had a player sent off. Andrich for elbowing, Zabani for fouling or holding a player. But it descended into chaos as PSG won that game by 7-2. Kelvin, your thoughts on this? This was not supposed to end like this. Nobody thought PSG were going to score 7 on the day. But that's what happened. They managed to go to Germany, grab 7 goals from Bayer Leverkusen.
And it was quite disappointing. It was sad how things were unfolding, especially from the Grimaldo penalty miss. Yes, from the Grimaldo penalty miss to the red card for Andrich, and then Zabani also got a red. If you're playing against PSG and then you get a red card first, know that you are doomed. Thankfully, they managed to hold on, and they even got their equalizer until Desiree Doué decided to get himself into a Thierry Henry mode and start tearing apart, the Bayer Leverkusen a team together with Victor Kvaratskhelia and Ousmane Dembele coming on his first game after his injury to get a goal. Now, what this PSG team is set up or is made up of, and the number of years they've been consistent in building chemistry, in building confidence, cannot be, matched with what we've seen from Bayer Leverkusen. Let's not forget they've changed hands a couple of times, and Kasper Heumann is now trying to steady the ship. Eric Ten Hag came and then he just dismantled everything. They had players in the back line that many were expecting that they would fit in after the exit of Tar and the likes, but it hasn't been so. Andre playing in defense was always going to be a problem, and let's not forget he's not the most pacey of players. So if you put him in a back three system and you have PSG also with a front three, because PSG, Enrique will never look at his attacking lineup or players available for him to set up his attack and play with just 2 men up front. He has Bakola, he has Doué, he has Kvaratskhelia, he has Dembele on the bench, he has Ramos, and all these players, So when he's playing, he's thinking about just how to advance. So once I saw the lineup, I knew that there was going to be struggles with Loic, Bade, Tapsoba, and then Andrique. And when Andrique got frustrated, in the opening minutes, he just had to just end up in a very silly way, which PSG were thankful of that. So it just took advantage of it. I would have wished that Andrique should have been in that midfield with Ezekiel Fernandez and then Alex Garcia to try, mop up things, and then you play with the back four. But once you open up the team for PSG, they were going to find every way.
But PSG too had a man sent off.
PSG playing with 10 men against this Bayer Leverkusen. They can even play with 9 men and they will still beat this Bayer Leverkusen. The quality in the team is too much, too hot for them to handle. Just look at that delivery from Nuno Mendes. That guy is not going to stop now. And he's clearly telling us that he's the best left back in the world. Yeah. Brilliant, excellent delivery. And once he got in there, Pacho was like, come on, this is
we are seeing different sides of Nuno Mendes.
Exactly.
So first we saw him to be a defender. Now we are beginning to see that he can offer something in attack.
He dribbles, everything you want to have in your right winger or your left winger, he can offer you, that option. And then the PSG team, clearly, from every single department, they have too much quality. And Vitinha is not going to stop. For the people who continuously talk about, what's this guy's name, the Barca boy, try to compare him with, they should stop that comparison. It's about consistency. It's about consistency and the quality you offer your team, even in critical moments. Barca can always, there are times they do without Pedri and they still play their games. But he asked me, would you see a PSG team survive without Vitinha?
That would be very difficult.
They have survived without this guy.
Dembele.
There is other João Neves.
Yeah, they've played without Neves before.
Fabian Ruiz.
They played without Ruiz before.
But every single time he plays with different people, he still makes sure that the PSG team is solid in that midfield and they don't lose their creativity. Yesterday he played with Mayulu and then Warren Zaire.
Yeah.
But it was just sweet. It was just smooth. It was sleek. Though there were moments that he struggled, but when he took over the game and decided to let his magical act come to play, it was difficult for the opponents. And I think Enrique, like we said last year, he's built up a monstrous team. They are not going to stop now, and they won't ever stop. But for Bayer Leverkusen, the fans should take their time. Maybe Kasper Heumann will need, some some weeks,
it will take time
to build up a very good team, a team that would get back into the shape which we saw Alonso put together that team. Yesterday, and Spoku, unfortunately for him, we were expecting that at least Obey Bibi, but it did not work for him. So, good game, and if you are a champion, these are the kinds of statements you make.
Yeah.
You beat teams and you beat them wholesomely. And let's not forget, they were coming back from a weekend where they did not win their game.
They drew 3-3.
Did not win their game. They had
Friday
to come
night,
from behind.
I was watching.
Yeah, many thought they were even going to lose that game. But they just managed to steal the point away. So clearly, they were coming in as wounded lions and they needed this result to just bounce back on a high as champions for the Champions League and possibly favourites for this season too.
We'll see. Michael, your thoughts on this very dominant Paris Saint-Germain performance in that it was 1-1 by the time Zabani got sent off, and then PSG just went crazy from that point, scored and walked away with 7 goals and 3 points.
Well, it speaks to what Enrique wants to do with this project. After winning the Champions League, they need to get to the next level, and that is what most teams fail to do. You might be brilliant, yes, but if we take away that winning side, you must have a squad number that is good enough in terms of the quality depth to challenge, even in the absence of some of your key men. And that is the level Enrique expects to take this Paris Saint-Germain team. And clearly you can see they have been doing games without their talismanic midfield, the trio of Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, and João Neves. But yesterday they coped. Desiree Doué had to occupy a position as part of his midfield trio, and Vitinha was a constant in there. But clearly you can see they play to how the manager expects them to, and that gives them some kind of edge. So it means, yes, Enrique has players who he can redefine their profiles, and they will still deliver because of their technical ability and also their overall intelligence. And it makes this PSG team look more dangerous than perhaps we have perceived. They have much more in them than we think, and clearly it demonstrated against the right opponent. Bayer Leverkusen are not in the right. They are not in the right places as it stands. By judging by just how this season has unraveled, they started with Ten Hag, then he was sacked eventually when results were not in their favor, and they brought on board the former Denmark manager Martin Heimland. Now, what he's trying to do is that he wants to bring stability into this team. He wants to make sure that they are defensively solid, and this will take time. So they might have it easy against opponents where relatively they are better than. But when it comes to games against some of the top teams in Europe now, like Paris Saint-Germain, then their issues will be laid bare before them. They will be badly exposed, and that is clearly what happened. Even before the red card to Robert Eindrich, PSG were dominating. And then when the playing field was leveled due to Iliad Zabani's own red card, PSG still dominated because you know what happened? They now had enough space to play in. So it allowed for PSG to just enjoy their game because it's 10v10. So there will be one shortage in terms of personnel. And when there is no more people on the pitch or no more persons on the pitch, it allows for spaces to be exploited. And I think that is what PSG did very, very well. In Seni Mayulu, I think PSG are molding another Desiree Doué to step up. Yesterday, he led the lines expertly. It's unfortunate that he could not get a goal, but you could see how he brought the others into the game. Bradley Barcola, for his own inefficiencies in terms of how prolific he can be, I think that he's also the ultimate player, the ultimate team player. He brings the others into the game. And then Kivicha Kvaratskhelia was excellent, leading with his experience. And then
what a goal he scored. That's an absolute storm.
It fits the description of Coradona. Clearly, he's a very talented footballer. It's unfortunate that the country that he comes from will not really place him there in terms of a higher pedestal. But he's a purely talented footballer, very good at that. And on a day when things go well for him, you will really appreciate his football skill set. So I think if you piece everything together, PSG are trying to build on from being just winners to legendary status. And Enrique is in the process of doing that successfully. Now you can clearly say that this is a very good playing squad. Yes, they had a good playing side in terms of a starting 11, but now they are having a very good playing squad. Marquinhos has not played for some time now, but nobody is talking about his absence because the one who has stepped in, Zabani, has done a solid job. When there is no Pacho, Lucas Berardo can do a job, or even Lucas Hernandez. Their laterals look like the only places now that they will need to get replacement for in the absence of one of them. When Achraf Hakimi is not there, I doubt who will come in and do the job. The same applies to Nuno Mendes. So I think they are the most important players in this PSG team, together with Vitinha. They make them tick. If they are starting any game and they have Achraf Hakimi, they have Nuno Mendes, and then they have Vitinha, I think it allows for Enrique to establish the fundamentals of his play, and then the rest of the players he will select will be able to move along. And this is evidenced by how well they have played throughout the spell when they have suffered injuries and then lots of key players in their side. Thumbs up to Enrique. He's doing a solid job. And it's only evident, it's only clear, and it's only rewarding that they won 7-2 against Bayer Leverkusen. A very deserving result.
It was a good day for Paris Saint-Germain on the road. Let's talk about tonight. There are games that will be played. The 4:45 games, Athletic Bilbao and Karabakh. If Bilbao do not get this one, but then Karabakh themselves have started the Champions League very well, and they may cause a headache. Let's see. Galatasaray take on Bodo Glimt at home. That will be an interesting one. Bodo Glimt were the Europa League surprise package last season. In other matches, the 7 p.m. games, Atalanta versus Slavia Prague. Hopefully, we should see Kamaldeen play a part in that. Bayern Munich versus Club Brugge. And this week, Bayern Munich announced an extension for Vincent Kompany. To think that, Michael and Kelvin, to think that this was us a few months ago, signaling the death of Vincent Kompany from the coaching world. Look at us now.
Excellent cases.
You know, I think he's taking the job on so well. He had to just understand the dynamics at Bayern. And for me, when he started at Burnley, he had total control. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He started building the blocks with them from the scratch, and he managed to qualify for the Premier League in a grand style. I think when it came to the Premier League, the dynamics were not too much favorable, and I think it's evident of teams when they come to the Premier League and they are not able to make very good purchases and buys. Is the reason why I am praising Sunderland for what they have done this particular campaign. Even though they've bought so many players, they have bought the right players and they are using them in the right manner. Look at Granit Xhaka in their midfield, Reinildo with his experience, this guy, the Ivorian,
Adingra.
Yes, and they haven't gotten very good. Just look at these players, using them the right way, and that striker they brought from the Championship. Also, I normally forget Isidore. They are using the players in the right way, and the manager understands that these players complement these ones, but he couldn't have it that way. When he went to Bayern, I think initially he just had to understand the environment, of course, the system, the culture. And the Bayern team was actually, phasing out with a number of players who I think that their time was over and then they had to leave the scene. Thomas Müller and the likes who had become kings and queens in there. He just had to make sure he cleared them bit by bit and then built his own team. Last season, brilliant. He's brought on Michael Olise. If not for anything at all, Olise played in the Premier League, and he would understand the sort of mentality that company brings in. There is Harry Kane, who has also played the Premier League before. So he would understand that. There is Luis Diaz in the team.
Premier League winner with Liverpool.
Thank you. Jonathan Tah was brought in by himself because
from Leverkusen.
He wanted to just make replacements in that defensive unit. So clearly, he now has Pavlovic. Let's not forget it, Fulham. So he has players who played in an environment where they understood a different culture, and now they are with him. And he's built on that philosophy with them. Now look at how fluid his team plays. I always say it, if you're a manager and you have Harry Kane and you cannot get results, then you're as terrible as whoever. Under him, Harry Kane has become the target. He's become the man they look forward to. And he's given Olise, not even the others like Musiala was supposed to do lots of work for him.
But Musiala is out. But
he's out. But
you're not even feeling you can't feel Musiala's absence.
It's all because he has given Olise that leeway to run around the central attacking positions. Serge Gnabry and then Leroy Sané who misbehave and decide to do whatever they want.
He sold Sané has Galatasaray,
and Gnabry is on the bench now because they felt, come on, this is our Bayern Munich. Whether you like it or not, we were going to play. He's broken that bit off. Now look at the Bayern Munich team. There is Neuer, there is Tah, there is Sasha. This is not even a German. Leon Goretzka. You can only speak about 3 or 4 Germans who are starting, which wasn't the case before. So now he's able to actually control the team, and I think credit should go to Joshua Kimmich. Brilliant player. He starts in that midfield, and then you can bank your hopes that yes, this guy is going to give you the results. So I think company has taken the charge very well. Maybe in the initial stages he just couldn't understand, but now he's gotten used to his environment and he's getting the very best out of it. But this evening he's facing a team that is very stubborn when it comes to the Champions League in the last 2 seasons. You can't get past them easily.
The Club Brugge are a very stubborn team.
In the heart of midfield, the captain, Venaken, brilliant player, very unassuming. But by the time you realize, he would have crafted some magic, and your team will struggle to untie whatever ropes or strings he will be pulling in that midfield. And I just hope that company would understand that there should be plugs on him. And I trust that if you have Pavlovic, who is someone whose trademark is just to stop players, heckle them, prevent them from having a field day, he will be able to do that. Other than that, if Vanaken clicks and he decides to send the ball to the left hand and right hand side where he has Tolis and then Carlos Forbes, it's going to
Carlos
be very.
Forbes scored over the weekend.
It's going to be it's going to be very difficult for Bayern. But just like I said, if you have Harry Kane in your team, 50% of the work is done for you. Just find him, and from every position, from about 25 years, he can find you the goal or create a goal scoring opportunity.
And even Kane himself, this other side of his game that shows up every now and again, the playmaking side of Harry Kane. Michael, it's a very interesting dimension. Kane is, we had seen that in bits and pieces when he played at Spurs, dropping deep and linking up. But these days, we are seeing that a lot more. The ability to drop as far back as maybe the center line, take the ball, 10, play a pass and start the attack. It's a very interesting trait Harry Kane has as an attacker. I find it really, really fascinating. Whenever I watch him do that, it really, really stands out as this underrated part of his footballing repertoire.
Yep, I think with Harry Kane, yes, he was doing this at Spurs, as you rightly mentioned, but at Bayern, he's actually taking it to a different level. And I was watching the Classica last weekend, and the commentator at a point in time said, so which position can't Kane play? And his co-commentator was like, maybe goalkeeper, because Manuel Neuer is not willing to allow him there. But clearly you could see, he was a right back, he was a left back, he was in central defense, making timely sliding tackles. He was in the middle. He gave a brilliant pass. Was it to Michael Olise to get on the score sheet? So I think clearly, yes, one thing we need to appreciate is that he's now feeling at home and at ease. At Spurs, he was a bit burdened by the fact that all the hard work he had to put into will lead to him just getting the individual praises, but collectively, the team could not win something that was substantial, and it affected them. But at Bayern, he has gotten that kind of approval because he's doing this and the team is also winning. And that has emboldened him to carry on and still do more. And I appreciate it. He has a manager that understands him and a manager that is willing to allow for these concessions to be made. If he had met a true tactician who want to restrict players in terms of their positioning because I want you to do this, just focus on doing that, then it would have stifled Harry Kane's movement. It would have stifled his potential and what he can do. But I think under company, what he does is that he's just allowed the players to bring their quality to bear. Do as you want. So the players are playing like free canaries. They are not caged. They are out of their cages and they are doing to their optimum best. Michael Olise, Harry Kane, tell me one single player in this Bayern team that you haven't seen drastic improvement in. A lot of them, even Leon Goretzka. He was nearly being ostracized from the team during the time of Thomas Tuchel, but he's been reintegrated into the setup and he forms a key part of the Bayern side, whether he starts or he does not start. Konrad Laimer can do a solid job in the middle, can also play from the right fullback position. Sasha Boye, almost all the players in the Bayern team have seen improvement in their play and their commitment has also changed as well. And so thumbs up to company. I think he's not just a good coach, but he's also an excellent manager and he's doing a solid job to ensure that Bayern get to where they are supposed to get to. But Harry Kane is in the form of his life. And I think he needs to enjoy this run, sustain it. Bayern win something that is going to put him in a position where he can be mentioned amongst the top players. And then when the awards are being given for the top individual prizes, he will definitely be on that podium. I think the form that he is in means that he deserves such. And I'm only happy for him. But he has an enabling environment that allows him to do what he is doing. And credits to Vincent Kompany for creating that.
Well, the people at Bayern will be very happy because for those who know the story, when Kompany was appointed, it was largely to stabilize and unify a dressing room that had been very fractured under Thomas Tuchel, and they'll be very delighted with the team he has created. Let's stay in Germany, guys. A game that I think will get a lot of the attention. We'll talk a bit about Real Madrid and Juventus, because it's Real Madrid and Juventus, two of the Champions League's greatest teams. But Eintracht Frankfurt and Liverpool. And after the result from the weekend, the conversation has quickly transitioned to Arne Slot and the problems he has on his hands. Michael, I'll take your thoughts, and Kelvin. There are some people who believe that it is time to make some drastic changes to the team. Some people have called for Mo Salah to be put out of the team for a bit. Some people think Hugo Ekitike should be starting ahead of Isak, despite Isak's big money move. Some people, a caller said that Liverpool need protection in the middle of the park. They are too open and they will keep conceding. Michael, after the stress of losing to Man United on Sunday, I guess Arne Slot does not have a lot of room for mistakes tonight.
Pressure will be building on him, especially after Klopp also had an interview and said he will not rule out a return to Liverpool. When it happens this way, it certainly piles pressure on a manager who is not getting the results. But I think in everything that is happening, you can't speak to the Liverpool issues and excuse Arne Slot of some of the blame. I think his coaching has left so many questions unanswered. One, is he selecting his best team? I mentioned this on Monday, and I don't think so. I think he's taking more to reputation than consistency and form. Because for whatever it's worth, I don't think there is any central forward or any central attacking player who is better than Ekitike in this current Liverpool team. He's worked for it. The momentum is on his side. He has been getting the goals. He's been facilitating the goals. And so clearly, in big games, you start him. I don't know what Slot aims to achieve, but consistently trying to play Isak at the expense of Ekitike has not really paid off. And it only piles more pressure on Alexander Isak. We all know what happened during the preseason. I will not want to sound like a broken record and go back and then narrate everything. The player is not ready yet. He will need time. He will need to be eased into the game. People forget that Isak is now going through his preseason. He has not matched up to the levels expected of him. So he won't give you what is expected in terms of intensity. He won't give you the quality in terms of his off-the-ball contributions. And then he will also not give you the quality in terms of on the ball. So he's a player that you ease into the team gradually. And then maybe hope that when it gets to the second half of a campaign, he might have picked his form, and then he'll be ready to go from there. But Slot decides to start him in games like this, and then it affects the team as well. Again, for Mo Salah was functioning because of a certain existing structure, a setup, the personnel available. One player who made Mo Salah tick in the Liverpool team has left, and that is Trent Alexander-Arnold. And in the players that they got to replace him, I don't think they fit the profile of Trent from the technical point of view. Conor Bradley is not your typical Trent. And then for Jeremy Frimpong, he's more offensive-minded and a different player in terms of profile when compared to Trent. So clearly, it will definitely affect Salah's game. But this is a Premier League and this is a Liverpool side who are playing in competitions that do not allow for a lot of experimentation. What Slot is trying to do now is trying to figure out something that works. So even in right back, just this season, he's tried 3 different players. Dominic Szoboszlai, Conor Bradley, Jeremy Frimpong. He's trying to find out a formula that works. And there is not enough time to do that, unfortunately. So will he want to redefine the profile of Salah and give him a different role, or will he consider benching him? I think he has to look at what actually works for him, because Salah continuing to operate from the right and do expect what was expected of him in previous seasons now, I doubt it will happen, especially minor strength. And so maybe they can look at his role. And you play him from more central positions? Can you look at moving him away from the right wing? I would even want to be very bold and state that I will start Jeremy Frimpong at right wing in this instance. What he does is that he gives Liverpool wide options. We now saw him at Bayer Leverkusen. He's a typical wing back, and he gives you wing options. So what Liverpool are lacking now is that they are not expansive that much on the right as on the left. And when Trent was there, they had that balance. Left wing, right wing. They will give you the options. They will give you the supplies. And it made Liverpool a two-pronged side in terms of using their wide play. But this time around, they've just been restricted to the left in just Milos Kerkez. The right has not contributed equally, and that is a problem for them. So Slot has key decisions to make. His starting 11, his best team, changes in profiles and roles assigned to players. He has a lot to do, but it looks like he's a manager who when given too many options. Maybe he can refine. When the options are limited, he can refine the team, get the results. But when the options are many and he needs to get variety, then it is a problem for him. And I fear for him, but I still think in as much as they are going through their own slump, they are having their own struggles, I don't think a game against Eintracht Frankfurt is one that should be beyond this Liverpool team in terms of winning. They have what it takes to step out into the game and win. What Slot needs to do is to get an effective game plan. So I expect Liverpool to get the better of Eintracht Frankfurt, and I expect them to deliver. But it should start Hugo Ekitike. We beg him. Investors who want to use it for something. And it also needs to be the benefit of this operating. So we should just start Ekitike. It will help us.
Kelvin, changes? Slot, should he make changes tonight?
Even if he make changes, do you think he knows exactly where his problems are and how he has to solve it?
Okay.
Let's just look at the players who went out of the Liverpool team.
Luis Diaz.
Arnold went.
Okay, Arnold.
There's Luis
Diaz.
Harvey Elliott. And then the rest are players that... There's the goalkeeper, Keller,
yes. He's gone to
he's also left.
Diogo Jota.
Darwin Nunez.
Yes.
You know what happened to Diogo Jota. Nathaniel Phillips. Jarrell Kwanzaa.
Yes, gone to Leverkusen.
Kostas Tsimikas.
Yes.
All these players left. Now look at the incomings or the purchases they made for Liverpool. Number one, Hugo Ekitike, maybe to replace Darwin Nunez or whoever. Jeremy Frimpong, is he the best player to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back in the Liverpool system and style? Sincerely.
Okay, so what were they replacing? Were they replacing the width or Trent?
There was no width.
Technical.
There was no width for him to replace. There was no width. He had to replace the right back who could play in central midfield. So and create from deeper lines for them.
So he needed a technically sound player who could play at right back.
Is Jeremy Frimpong able to create from deeper lines?
No, he's a speed merchant. Go wide and cross.
Thank you. Ishak comes in, maybe for Jota's situation. Ishak comes in to replace Jota. Milos Kerkez, left back. Was that place a very highlighted point of Liverpool's problems at left back?
Not really, but Robertson was aging.
How is he aging? How old is Robertson? That you are saying he's aging. How old is Robertson? Aubameyang is 36 as a centre forward.
But by left back, I mean, once you hit a certain age,
how old is he?
How old is Robertson? Is he not in his 30s?
He's in his 30s, yes. But is he 32? Is he 33? Is he 34? If I give you Danny Cavaya right now and put Jeremy Frimpong, because Frimpong is younger, you pick
Robertson
him ahead.
Is 31.
31. Football is not far. Defender, left back. Uncle Baby, this is where he's going to use all his experience from the Premier League, Champions League to bear. You bring Milos Kerkez. Was there a problem there? No.
No, there really wasn't a big problem there.
Mamadashvili, because Keller moved, so yes,
he's a good cover for Alisson. That's okay.
Florian Wirtz, no, be pedding on Liverpool team. Did they lack creativity?
The voice of sport.
The Liverpool team that had McAllister creating, that had Szoboszlai creating, that had Gravenberch creating, that had Mohamed Salah creating. Did they need any creator? if they needed a creator, did they need someone like Florian Wirtz to come in and play in that space? Since he came, he's omitted one of the midfielders, and he's bought a space for himself as the one playing behind the main striker.
Yes.
And is it working for them?
So far, no.
In fact, so for me, I just realized that when Slot decided to make his own team by tampering with what Jurgen Klopp set up for him, which he won the league with last season without, plenty additions. But it was, that template. Let me fix this one here, fix this one here, like for like. They are getting the result. They got the results. But this season, many have identified the problems, the woes. Virgil van Dijk isn't the same Van Dijk 2-3 seasons ago, or even a season ago. Ibrahim Konate wants to move away.
His mind, you can tell his head.
He may be playing for you as a professional, but he wants to go. Any player who wants to stay would have committed. Look at Saliba. He knows Real Madrid are after him.
He signed an extension.
Exactly, because he has that focus that I want to stay and play again.
Yeah. And even if he may want to leave, he puts Arsenal in a position to benefit greatly.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm not even looking at that. I'm looking at
he's committed.
Commitment.
Signed his extension. He's playing.
Now Liverpool's team seems to be in jitters. At right back, they have issues. In central defense, where they had issues, he had to buy a player and fill in that space. He decided not to. And now he goes in, instead of getting a player that can fill in for Szoboszlai or Gravenberch when they are not available, or McAllister, if any of them loses he went in for Florian Wirtz. Let's not forget, the Liverpool team is built with steel and energy.
Yeah.
The great. That is how Liverpool survive. Wirtz is that player who would probably come into I don't know whether a Manchester City team or something.
Yeah, Wirtz would.
But the Liverpool team is clearly and highly mechanical. It's the reason why he's struggling. If he wants to play like he was doing in the Eredivisie, then he should forget to. This season he will be the ninth. If he jokes, and this evening I am expecting that they get a very good result. I don't know how they are going to get it. I don't see how they are going to get that.
That's
result.
what I'm asking. So should he? So after Sunday, should he make a change to the team? Some people argue that Isak bench, Ekitike start.
I think it's the best. You have two lethal weapons. Ekitike starts the season on a high. He's playing so well. You say you've bought Isak for so much
money.
Why don't you play the two, and now you put Florian Wirtz behind them so that you would have a system that will favor all the three players.
Two with Wirtz behind.
It doesn't spoil anything. Or put Ekitike on the left.
Ekitike on the left.
Yes, he can play from there.
Salah on the right.
Yes.
Wirtz in the middle.
Thank you.
With Isak up top.
Yes.
Then then your midfield combo is who? Szoboszlai
and Gravenberch.
And Gravenberch. So you bench McAllister.
Yes, or one of the two. So you see why now I say that he's bought players and it's affected the dynamics of the team.
True. The balance, the team's balance.
When you had the right balance, why do you alter it by bringing Florian Wirtz in there to come and cause the stability with a team that was well set up for you?
This is Sporty FM.
Look at what I don't like Arteta for so many things, but when he took off Partey, he brought in a like for like player who was not going to tamper the dynamics of his team. Eze came, he was not going to tamper with his midfield trio. Odegaard was still going to play, and it's either Eze played from the left or from the right, depending on whether Saka or Martinelli, whoever is available or unavailable to play. And he only took time to make sure that it works. But look at this man, chopping and changing, and is actually almost collapsing his team. 4 losses on a bounce. If they don't get a victory today, trust you me, they will start dipping in confidence. They will start making lots of errors. How do you look at Dominic Szoboszlai and put him at right back? How? What do you want to achieve? It was the same thing Arsenal fans when we had problems with Mikel Arteta when he was putting. How do you have such a player and you put him at right back? To do what for you?
You invert, so he starts there and
Which
gets
inversion?
to the middle.
Which inversion? He wants to use him as the Arnold type, but Szoboszlai, it won't work. Look at Szoboszlai when he plays for Hungary. He's more advanced though.
Yeah, he's a 10.
Thank you. He's an 8-10.
8 or 10, making moves and making things happen for Hungary.
8-10. Just like he's workaholic. Like maybe Odegaard will do for you, run around, and like Bernardo Silva will run around and cover space for you. I don't know. Sincerely, I don't know what he's going to do to get the result. But if this evening he wants the best, just like Michael has given him a piece of advice, Hugo Ekitike should lead the lines. Salah on the right, Cody Gakpo on the left, Florian Wirtz in the middle. Either McAllister, Szoboszlai, or McAllister Gravenberch, depending on whichever way he wants. But I think
Liverpool's midfield, when I look at that midfield, and as
Gravenberch has an injury, so now
which means that
he has to play McAllister and Szoboszlai.
So typically they are going to play a game with no proper screener in front of course, McAllister is intelligent enough to hold the position, and
that is why when you have the pivot of those two, McAllister, Szoboszlai, they can equally do that work for you. The same work that Gravenberch but just that you need to control the game.
Which means that you have to get on the ball,
and which depends on Florian Wirtz. Now, if you look at the Liverpool team, they don't play with their focus on Mohamed Salah, which was the case last season. Salah, or he pulls men away, or we go to the left to Diaz, and then we switch play. But now, who is the go-to man? Ishak, and everyone is aware. Ishak there, he's a scorer. He played well for Newcastle last season. So let's just get, and you can see they are bullying him off the ball, left, right, center. It's a problem, but I think maybe this evening Conor Bradley will be at right back. He did not have the right purchases and the right players to fit into the loopholes that he created for himself.
He didn't, as I say, he
should buy his own cost. And the most annoying thing for me is he consistently is shifting blame. How is it that somebody will set up his team and come and play against you? They put Sesko on the bench, they beat you, and he start complaining. He complained that teams are Arsenal is winning from set pieces, but he forgot that his own club was scoring from set pieces. Most of their early victories in the season
came from
set pieces. So he's a confused man now.
And then over the weekend, he said that why didn't Man United
play Šeško? Why? Is it your team? But did he also start with the players that you would expect that these are regulars that they should start the games? He should just fix his team. The excuses are becoming too much. If he's confused and he cannot coach the team, Klopp left when he thought he couldn't.
Klopp can come back.
Yeah, Klopp can come back because just like Michael said, he says he would rule out a return.
Wow, interesting. Anyway, let's talk about Real Madrid Juventus, the glamour tie of the Champions League historically. Juve may not be at the same place they were decades ago, but Michael, it's still a tasty encounter. It's still a glamour game. Real Madrid at the Bernabeu is always fun to watch. After beating Getafe, tonight they need to get on the board and beat Juventus to keep the Champions League run going. What do you expect? What do you expect to see from this Real Madrid side? They've had their own little drama here and there. Jude Bellingham going in and out of the team and all of that. Tonight, what would you want to see from Real Madrid as they play Juventus?
On how we classified this game, and if it is a big game, then I'm a bit worried for Real Madrid and the mentality. I think there is a fundamental issue that is not so right with the side, and in the game against Atletico Madrid, and then in games in the Club World Cup, although some will say it was too early for Xabi Alonso to really have an impact on the team, as many would expect. I think Madrid have struggled to cope in the big matches, and it is not because they lack a certain quality, but it's also because they lack that maturity and the temperament, the mentality you take into games of this nature. What actually held Madrid back then, when they were dominating and winning the Champions League on a consistent basis, had to do with the fact that the presence of senior figures in the team and also in the dressing room, they actually impacted on the Madrid team positively. So they had the right mentality to approach some of these big games. We've seen how Rodrigo has been brought off from the bench and he comes on to impact a big game against Chelsea. We've seen Vinny Jr., we've seen various players come and do it because the environment in which they were in affected them positively in terms of their mentality. Now, you look through the Madrid team carefully, maybe the most senior player will be Dani Carvajal. But back then, it was a dressing room made up of Toni Kroos, Luka Modric. You will still have, at a point in time, Karim Benzema. You have Nacho. And even if you have these four, they form the core group who had understood what it meant to play for Real Madrid, not just in any game, but the big games. So I think there are two things, the footballing issues and then the environmental issues. Environmentally, Real Madrid do not have the right players to affect the mindset of these boys when they have to step onto the field and play some of these big games. And that is where I have a bit of an issue because it looks like it's going to be a decisive 2 weeks for them. After Juve, there is a El Clasico. After Barcelona, then there is a trip to Liverpool. All these games could really test the mentality of Xabi Alonso's team. In terms of their quality, it is not in doubt. And the results they have chalked so far, in the Champions League, it is 2 wins out of 2. They, quote-unquote, coped with the pressure Marseille offered them, and then they beat them 2-1. They won convincingly against Kairat Almaty. In the league, they are 2 points ahead of Barcelona. So it looks like they don't really have much of an issue in terms of winning any game. But when it gets to the big games, they don't really have the right temperament, the right mentality,
the voice of
such a game. So if we consider Juventus against Real Madrid as a big game, then I'm a bit worried for them. But yes, Juve themselves are not in the right place. They are having their own issues. Igor Tudor has pressure mounting on him. And per the reports in the Italian media, he's been given like a 2-game mandate to deliver. If he fails, then the ultimatum is that if he does not deliver the results in the 2 games, he's off.
And knowing Italian football the way I know Italian football, that ultimatum is 85% true. As Italian owners and chairmen don't joke with their ultimatums. So
there's pressure on him. He needs to deliver. And that makes me a bit worried. How will he set his Juventus team up? But I will not take anything away from them. They have a decent squad. They have a playing body who on any given day, some of these individuals will likely step up. Jonathan David, Lois Openda, Kenan Yildiz. They have an excellent attacking lineup. And I think Juventus will fancy their chances against this Real Madrid team. And so the difference to me will be the atmosphere that Real Madrid creates, the fans, and then also the key players in the Real Madrid team, and how they seize this moment and then decide to take the game by the scruff of the neck and deliver for their side. So it's going to be an exciting game. It's a game that I see Juventus getting on the score sheet. The same applies to Real Madrid. But I think if push gets to shove and one team needs to dig deep and deliver a result, I want to trust Real Madrid more than I would trust Juventus. And so Madrid win for me is certainly not ruled out, but it will not be easy. It will not be an easy game. A game that they just start and then from the blast of a whistle, they dominate the Juventus team. It will be in flashes, it will be in moments, but I am only hoping they seize their moment and make it count.
Michael, quick thoughts on your dear old Chelsea. They take on Ajax in London. Chelsea win. I'm more interested. Will we see another red card? Because it looks like now it's becoming a trade. It's either Enzo getting one, Gusto. Hey, what is going on here?
Maybe it's a Chelsea team starting a campaign that going forward they'll want to wear more of a red jersey than blue, because it is baffling how they attract these red cards. But against Ajax, I think it is a right opponent for Chelsea to continue to build their confidence and belief. They've had consistent results before the international break. That win against Liverpool, and then after that, the win against Nottingham Forest. Ajax are not in a good shape. They are not enjoying their run so far this season. In the Eredivisie, they are not getting the results, and then in the Champions League, they are being beaten for fun. So what I think is that it is a game that Chelsea have the advantage on paper, and then in reality, it should not be difficult for Enzo Maresca to select a team to step onto the pitch and beat Ajax Amsterdam. So I am definitely tipping Chelsea to win. It's unfortunate that Joao Pedro won't be part of this game. He's suspended. But it was a good game for him to start scoring again. But his absence means that Chelsea will cope with the likes of Tyreek George, and then Willian Estevao is expected to start from the right from the start. And so I am tipping Chelsea to get a handsome win against Ajax Amsterdam.
Okay. The full plate of games for listeners: Athletic Bilbao and Karabakh 4:45, Galatasaray and Bodo Glimt 4:45. The 7 p.m. batch of matches: Atalanta versus Slavia Prague, Bayern Munich at home to Club Brugge, Chelsea face Ajax, Eintracht Frankfurt at home to Liverpool, Monaco take on Tottenham Hotspur, and that is the Eric Dyer derby. Eric Dyer coming up against his former team at the Stade Louis. Monaco's last game in the Champions League was a game they drew 2-2 with Man City, I believe. So we'll see if Eric Dyer can do something. I don't know if Mo Salisu will get some minutes, but Mo Kudus definitely should get minutes for Tottenham Hotspur. Real Madrid versus Juventus, the standout game, even though I will be watching the Frankfurt-Liverpool one. And Sporting Club versus Olympique de Marseille. Sporting Club have had a very funny run in the Champions League so far. If you look at what they've been doing this season in terms of results in the Champions League, it's really, really not been the best. For them, they lost to Napoli, and then they beat Kerat Almaty. So win one, lose one, and now they are here taking on Marseille. Marseille are in hot form. They won 6-2 over the weekend in the French Liga. We'll see how it goes. So 2 French sides in action. So that's the full plate in terms of the UEFA Champions League games for tonight. Kelvin, want to say something?
I'll be happy to watch that Marseille game. I like how
Sporting versus Marseille.
I like how things are clicking for them. Aubameyang, Messi, Greenwood. They really have a very good team. When you look at their team, you look at their team and you just ask yourself, De Zerbi last season when he started, it wasn't as smooth as he wanted, but it looks like the chips are falling in the right places for him. If you look at his team this season, if there's Pazal, there's that Angel Gomez, the one
just behind ex-Man United. Angel Gomez playing very well.
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is doing the dirty work. Matt O'Reilly giving him some quality in there. I think it's good. They have the experience of Benjamin Pavard, who is confident now playing back at home. So it's good. Naif Aguerd, you get it. So it's good. It's good enough. We'll wait to see. They should be scoring lots of goals because Michael will be sending me a slip if they fail to score goals like we saw yesterday. Me and them will fight. We'll fight, man.
Michael, all of this and all the games end goalless. Imagine.
No, then we'll catch them.
You catch them. You catch them, man. After everything, and then they all go and play goalless draw.
Yeah. You see, the funny thing that happened yesterday, I posted, "Hello, investors. How was your day after the matches in the Champions League?" And everybody was like, Napoli. And I said, Napoli, you will never see joy for the rest of your life.
The Napoli result, it surprised me though. But I don't know. Well, I'm sure people went for what? Napoli to win against PSV.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
I was like, Napoli won't see joy for the rest of their lives. But next weekend you'll be selecting them in your best team. So how do you expect to win again?
Well, we'll see how it goes. You
said people say they miss Raymond.
Somebody put a message was forwarded into the office WhatsApp.
I've seen questions. People someone asked me, where's Raymond?
That's what I said earlier. If Raymond by this time you are in the comment section lambasting him. The other somebody even asked to the point where somebody mentioned Gary's Twitter handle and asked Gary why he had employed Raymond in the first place, and that he had employed unserious people to put on radio, and that he was even more surprised at me that I was sitting down and allowing Raymond to spew nonsense. And I, as an elderly person in the room, I didn't correct him. So me too, I'm condoning foolishness. Today, the same people are asking where Raymond is. Listeners. Anyway.
So I want to say this. What we do, there are times whatever we do in our work, fine, we'll be happy that we get glory. We'll be happy we get money, that we cater for our basic necessities and even to afford. But there are times what we do, it's not just for us. We look at a lot of things. There are times, and for me, we do certain things or we want to achieve or want to do the best in our chosen field. Number one, to make other family members know that they can also reach that level. To make friends who are struggling to make it or to get into positions they want, that there is nothing like a no. Looking at where my friend or my brother or this gentleman started from. There are times we do this to serve as hope to people who want to get into this industry and they are now schooling that, oh, this gentleman, I want to be like him and I think I can be like him, to inspire people who are coming from behind.
True.
There are times we do that just to inspire some of our colleagues. When you write certain stories, when you do certain things, it is just to inspire and pull all others along that Kelvin is doing this. Come on, let me ask him, how do I do this? Abigail is doing this. Michael is doing this. Nathan is doing this. So we pull each other along. There are times we do this just to glorify the confidence and the choices our bosses and people who give us opportunities, to glorify those choices and to dignify them that they gave us the right people, the job to do and deliver for them. And finally, to our people who are from afar and look forward that, oh, this is a boy I knew and I am glad he has gotten to this level. So when we sit here and we wake up 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. to get ready and come and sit here and deliver, it is not for our personal gains. We look beyond it.
Yeah, because I'm sure we could be doing other things that will give us a lot more.
So they should just understand that there are times the glory that we seek in life, it is for a greater rippling effect and not just for our personal gains, but to inspire a lot of people, to dignify a lot of people, so that Obi Tinche will say, Akwawe ya no de 9cc from school yen kind in kahubino. And Awabe say, Obitia, it only inspires the person to also get to that level.
Of course.
So we just want to beg them. There are times they should calm down. They should calm down and then allow things to unfold.
Hey, that's a very interesting note on which we'll close today's sermon. Before I leave, though, let me give you updates from the Women's World Cup, the Women's Under-17 World Cup in Morocco. It's happening on people's blind side, but here at Sporty FM, we'll give you updates. Okay, let's get the results. North Korea 2, Cameroon 1, Costa Rica 1, Brazil 1, USA 5, China 2, Morocco 1, Italy 3, Netherlands 0, Mexico 1, and Norway 0, Ecuador 2. Today in the Women's Under-17 World Cup, these are the games. 1 p.m. Spain versus South Korea. 4 p.m. Zambia versus Samoa. That one Zambia should win. Japan versus Zambia. And then Samoa versus Canada. So sorry about that. Japan versus Zambia, Samoa versus Canada. Those are the 4 p.m. games. The 7 p.m. games, Cote d'Ivoire versus Colombia, Nigeria taking on France, and Paraguay taking on New Zealand. So those are the games that will be played today in the FIFA Women's Under-17 tournament. We couldn't get some info from the Black Queens camp, but tomorrow the Black Queens play. Hopefully tomorrow we should get updates from the camp. We'll see if we can get in touch with their team officer or the media officer, and then we'll get updates on the Black Queens. But that's how I wrap it up this morning on the Sporty Breakfast. My name is Nathan Carl. Thank you so much for joining me. I did this with Michael Asai-Bredu and Kelvin Osu-Ansah. They were great help. Early, Abigail Senas who joined me for the Sporty News Review. Thank you, Abigail. Thank you to my production team, Immortal, Abigail, Angela, Nanekia. Shout out to Emmanuel Ayamga and Fly. Shout out to the technical team. Shout out to my DJ Fidelis. Many thanks for all your support. If you called or sent us a message, thank you. God bless you. We don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. We are back tomorrow. Tomorrow is a Thursday, so we are back to take you through the Sporty Breakfast and all other programs. Tomorrow is Inside French Football. We'll be looking back on the French teams, what they've been doing in Europe, especially because by the time we go live tomorrow, the Europa League games wouldn't have been played. But we'll preview Europa League. But we'll talk some French teams in the Champions League. Look ahead to another weekend of Ligue 1. This is Ligue 1 is more accessible in Ghana. Many thanks to the Now you can watch Ligue 1 at home and don't stress. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. There's the news at midday. The Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, and then European Nights from 7 p.m. More Champions League games, so you can tune in and get some great insight and great chit-chat. Be part of all of that. This is Sporty FM, Ghana's first and exclusive all-sport radio station. Keep your dials locked on here. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll catch you later.
You're locked on to Sporty 106.1 FM in Accra.